Guess what we're making today? So to begin, we got our two different types of dumpling wrappers. We bought both the Shanghai and the Northern style. The Northern style was just a bit thicker, but we honestly liked them both. Then to follow it up with the pork we used, we decided to go 80% lean, 20% fat. And then for our wet ingredients, we'd have cooking wine, soy sauce, sesame oil, and white pepper.
So for the first official step, we got our baby cabbage and we started to blanch it. So we have our pot of boiling water and we obviously poured it all in there. You can see my mom is currently stirring it up just to make sure that all the cabbage is, getting fully submerged into the water. The purpose of this is to really just condense it, which will make the process a lot easier in the later steps. So after that, we put it in a colander, started to cool it off with some cold water. And the next step here is to squeeze out all of that moisture. You can see me and my mom working on it right now. Oh, and the water actually just squirted in my face, so be careful with that. But again, the goal is to really just make sure you get all of that moisture out of the cabbage. You can see me squeezing it as hard as I can. You also don't want to pulverize it, but you can see me squeezing it and even shaking it at times just to make sure we're getting all of that water out of the cabbage. We had to take these steps really seriously because, as you can see, we had an audience watching us as we made these dumplings. This is my dog, Bella.
So the next step is basically you want to take all that cabbage and chop it up as finely as possible. And then this is kind of the consistency you're looking for. You want to make sure that there's no water in the bottom. That's why there's kind of a hole in the middle.
So this is an overview of all of the ingredients that we will be mixing and stirring in our bowl. A couple of call outs are we suggest that you use chopsticks when you stir. And then also another suggestion is stirring in the same direction throughout the process. So here you can see Rachel is stirring clockwise. So that is the direction that we stirred for the rest of this video. So here we start to mix in the cooking wine and we continue to stir. So one thing you'll notice, it's a common theme, just continue to add the ingredients and continue to stir. It's a very tiring process, so we actually had to switch off quite a bit. Rachel was first up, then it was me, then my mom finished it off. So it could be a little bit challenging on the arms and the shoulders throughout this process, but it's definitely worth it after you have some nice tasting dumplings. As you can see here, Rachel's in hyperdrive right now, stirring so quick. Look, she's even stirring with a smile on her face.
So clearly some of us were made for the mixing process. Brandon got tired very easily and instead of mixing decided he wanted to hang out with his dog Jazz. And Jazz couldn't keep his eyes off of the food the whole time anyways. So now that we have our filling made, it's time to fill our dumpling wrappers and fold them. So to start off, it always helps to add a little bit of water onto the outside of the dumpling wrapper so that way it sticks together when you're folding it. And then after you kind of get enough water on the outside, our wrappers were frozen at first, so might take a little more water to make sure that they stick together. You want to get about a tablespoon or less of filling. Put that right in the middle, and then you're going to end up folding it together and kind of accordion folding one side. So Brandon and I do two separate ways, but this is the way I do it. I start from the inside and I just kind of fold in. It's kind of hard to explain, but this is the way I do it, and then Brandon will show you a different way in a little bit.
So now Rachel's really just pressing at the top just to make sure the dumpling is nice and secure. This is, again, just the importance of making sure the edges are damp because it helps with sealing the dumpling. After that, she throws it on parchment paper on a tray so it doesn't stick as we put them in the freezer. Now I'm up to show how I make the dumpling. Again, similar to how Rachel did it. Really just making sure that the edges are damp and wet with water, because this will help with sealing the dumpling at the end when we try to wrap them at the top. As you can see here, I am trying to actually dampen both sides because not only do you want it to stick at the top, but you want it to stick when you do the fold. So now it's time to get the filling. Similar again to Rachel, use the chopsticks to get about a tablespoon of the filling, put it right in the center of the dumpling, and connect both sides at the top in the center, making sure that it sticks. This is where Rachel and I do it a little differently, is I actually fold towards the center as opposed to doing all of my folds pointing to the same side. So you can see on the left side of my dumpling, it's actually folded inward towards the center, similar to on the right how it's pointing inward. So on the left side of the dumpling, it's all pointing to the right, and then on my right side of the dumpling, it's all pointing to the left. There is the final product. So we ended up boiling several of them for a quick little taste test. Moment of truth.
I hate when I don't match.
Moment of truth. We're testing some of these dumplings that we just made. Probably should have tested them a little earlier before we made the rest of these.
No,
but...
we're confident.
All right, Rach. Taste test. Let's see it.
All right, everybody at once. No, I'm not doing this alone.
No, I'm gonna grab
I hope I get one of Rachel's.
We should have used a soup spoon too.
Oh no,
They're hot.
mine's.
Oh, mine's.
They're very hot.
Okay, we're not getting one.
Just use a napkin. Oops. I just
How are they?
Do we need plates?
They're good. Yeah, I'll take a plate.
I'm gonna use this.
Oh, they're good. They're very good.
They're good.
Let me dip this in a
Oh
little bit.
goodness, I'm falling apart on mine.
It's good. Did you put some sauce on, Santa?
I took my first bite without sauce too.
Good though?
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Oh,
Oh, they're so hot. They look so hot.
Did you get a plate?
No.
Here. Oh. The
Let's
filling
go right
stays
there.
together very well. I think that's what.
That's the key.
That means our
Soy
consistency
sauce.
was right, water-wise.
Yep.
And they're not dry, right?
No.
Wasn't it good? Oh, you put it all in your mouth. Isn't it hot?
Let me eat another one, y'all.
Oh, go
do
eat
it.
them all. Eat them all. I'm good. Oh, I like them. I just
Need
wanted
another
to
one?
sample it. Yeah. And they
Ooh, it's
stay
hot.
together, guys.
That's
We
really
did.
good. Thoughts?
So good. So worth it.
That was exciting.
We crushed it.
So now we're gonna